What's good everyone, it's Kajani with another episode of the Crafter's Corner, a video series dedicated to crafting and gathering in Final Fantasy XIV. This episode is my monthly question and answer where I answer questions that I receive on the channel as well as share interesting threads that I see on the official forums as well as Reddit. If you have a question on anything in the video or any general questions related to crafting and gathering, be sure to let me know in the comments of the video. The developers have added a lot of quality of life additions in patch 6.4. In your opinion, which addition will benefit crafting and gathering the most? It is easily the search feature that is now included in the Retainer Exploration Venture window. This feature is long overdue because it's just a pain to guess what level a certain item is, especially when it comes to crafting materials that drop from mobs. Like, do any of y'all know what level you can find raptor shanks? No? Well, don't look at me because I don't know either. Fortunately, we no longer have to play this guessing game, just type whatever you're looking for and it's right there. The developers like to include random crafting materials like raptor shanks in current endgame foods, and having your retainers gather these items for you can be a gill and a time saver. Thankfully, with this quality of life addition, they made finding these items a whole lot easier. An honorable mention goes to adding a filter for aquarium fish in the fishing guide. Now you can just open up your fishing guide, click on the filter settings, aquarium breeding, then apply to see what fish that you caught can also go in an aquarium. If your fish guide does not look like mine and you're still curious about what fish can go into an aquarium, Gamerescape has a page that lists all the aquarium fish along with what they look like in a fish tank. If you see something that you really like, you'll be glad to hear that most of these fish can be purchased from the market board and aren't that expensive. They have been hooking us up with a lot of quality of life features in this expansion. What would you like to see them add next in the near future? One that comes to mind is being able to put a flag on the map of the fishing guide, like how you can do with Botanist and Miner. I've been doing a lot of fishing lately, and being able to drop a flag on the exact body of water that I'm heading to is really helpful. A centralized NPC that sells all the baits available in the game would be nice as well. This NPC would sell all the baits that you can purchase with gathering scripts as well as Gil. In the Dengeki online interview, Yoshi P mentioned that they will be gathering information on the sales trends of the high-end crafted gear for patch 6.2 and 6.4. Do you have any thoughts on this? I did see the comments, but I do take it with a grain of salt because there aren't any official translations out there, or at least any that I could find. Based on the unofficial translations, I do think it's cool that they're looking out for all the crafters out there trying to make some gil whenever new Savage raids are released. From what I've seen and what appears to be confirmed in the interview is that the overall reception to releasing the Savage tier a week after the patch has been really positive. In the end, I doubt we will see the developers make any sort of adjustments going into the next expansion. What are the best food buffs to use for crafting and gathering? When it really comes down to it, it's whatever gets the job done, meaning whatever makes your crafting macros work and whatever allows you to reach gathering breakpoints. If you're looking for something specific, endgame crafting and gathering foods are a good place to start. Here are some popular crafting foods, but really your macro is going to tell you which one to use. When you're gathering, you tend to choose foods that are gonna buff your perception so you can meet the breakpoints to gather at legendary nodes. The Tiganita and Citrus Cookie are two common food buffs that are used to boost your perception. If you ever need a food to increase your GP, you can always go with the Yakao Musaka as it provides the highest increase to GP in the game. What is the best way to approach completing the fishing log? I think the best way to do this is to break it up and take it one fish at a time. There are a lot of fish and baits to keep track of, so it can be a little overwhelming, especially when you're first starting out. If I were to make a recommendation, I would say start with the fish that you can catch via spearfishing, then move on to catching all the common fish in the game, so then you can just focus on the rare fish known as big fish. So with spearfishing, you'll be able to knock this out pretty quickly. There are a few exceptions, but for a majority of them, you don't have to do anything special besides stabbing them as they pass by. For the common fish, I recommend using the fishing log tracker on Teamcraft to get the information on respective fishing nodes. The fishing log tracker is going to have all the information you need, including the cast times for each respective fish, as well as what baits to use. My recommended approach is to start with the fish from A Realm Reborn, then work your way through each expansion until you caught all the common fish in the game. Then it's time to work on the big fish, and to accomplish this and to keep track of everything, you're going to be using Carbuncle Plushie. Carbuncle Plushie is a webpage that's used to track big fish and other fish that happen to be on timers. As you scroll through, you're going to see that there's a lot of big fish to catch, so I advise you to break this up as well. You can do it by expansion or by whatever bait you happen to have in your inventory, whatever works best for you. On Carbuncle Plushie, you do have the option to pin fish, so that way they show up at the top of your list. 3 fish that you must pin are Ruby Dragon, Cinder Surprise, and Elid Scon. This trio of fish have notoriously low catch rates, and their fishing windows aren't available very often. If a fishing window lines up when you can log on, I encourage you to go for it because you may not get another chance for days or even weeks. All the links to the resources that I mentioned are in the description of the video. I hope this helps, and good luck with completing your fishing log. It's really about enjoying the process, and remember, it's not about the fish that you catch, but the friends you make along the way, or something like that. What does snagging even do? Well, snagging serves 2 functions. It's going to allow you to catch specific fish and also fish for maps. Yes, snagging does allow you to gather maps with your fisher. The most notable use for snagging is to catch the magic bucket minion. If I recall correctly, most of the fish that you'll use snagging for are from Heavensward, and there are like 1 or 2 from Shadowbringers. And I'm not even sure you're going to use snagging at all in Endwalker. As for gathering maps, it's far more efficient to do so with your botanist or your miner. Honestly, you won't be using snagging very often, but at least you now know how to use it. So that's all I have for this episode of the Crafter's Corner. The next monthly Q&A will be on July 3rd. Hope to catch y'all there. Until next time, peace.